Hi everybody, Craig here. Welcome to the 22nd episode of my 1 vs 2 x 3 Age of Wonders 3 playthrough series. In this series, I'm playing against 3 separate teams of 2 Emperor AI per team, and I'm playing as the Draconian Necromancer, Crogar the Corrupt. In our last episode, we took another of Dwemus' cities away from him. We took the city here of Skorld. We took that away from Dwemus, and that was kind of another of his major cities that was right next to his former throne city here of Imdar's Deep. So we now have 2 of Dwemus' cities, and we still, if you remember from a couple episodes ago, we did spot Dwemus underground. We know that he was in this city here, so now that we've kind of cleared out these top 2 cities, we can essentially move Crogar's stack in and try to basically kind of commence the hunt down here of Dwemus to corner him underground and then try to finish him off once and for all. And then on our northern front here, we've continued to kind of press forward. I made the decision last episode to split my stack, so I had, split my forces. I had 2 separate stacks here. One led by Bahir the Beast Slayer here, our Necromancer at level 13, and he's got a very powerful stack here, which you can see. So, Bahir was leading a stack going to the south here after one of Odrin's cities that we can see right here. Meanwhile, this stack here, composed of a Bone Dragon, Wraith King, and a few other miscellaneous units, including our accomplished Earth Elemental, this stack was heading north to Odrin's city up here. So that was kind of a bit of a risky decision to split these 2 units up, but the 2 stacks, I should say. But I'm kind of going for, again, more bang for my buck, going for kind of a bit of a risky play to see if I can take out 2 of Odrin's cities here kind of at the same time. So anyway, we've got a lot to do this episode, but before I dive in, I did just want to give a couple of quick shout-outs to a few individuals who left comments on the previous episode. The first is a set of comments from My Brain Hurts. Brain left, a great set of comments once again, and the couple of things here I did want to point out. So, last episode I had kind of ended with a question to you guys, and I had asked, did you think that this stack here, composed of this Orc Shock Trooper, a Draconian Deathbringer, Flyer, Griffin Rider, Ice Queen, and a Blight Doctor here, if this stack would be able to go toe-to-toe with what's hiding in this Wizard Tower ruin, which is a mythical structure. And remember, I am on strong defenders, so that's going to be quite the challenging battle. And Brain actually said he didn't really think I would have a great chance if I just went in with this stack and I didn't want to cast any spells. So he actually suggested that I either go in and cast Undead, Scourge of the Undead, which is what I had sort of suggested as an option last time. Either that, or I ignore this for now, take the stack in and go into the Shadow Realm, clear out the spawning structure right here, and maybe do another structure or 2 if I can find one. There's also a Castle of the Lich King here, and a city. And then I could pop back out eventually once I'm a bit stronger and raid this. And those are both great suggestions. I think I'm probably going to go with the Scourge of the Undead spell, although I am in the process of casting and summoning, and that's going to use up most of my casting points. I do think that that's worth it. The other comment that Brain had was just to be careful on this northern front, and again, he basically pointed out that splitting up these stacks was kind of risky and maybe not the best choice, but we'll kind of have to see. And I totally agree. I mean, this is a big risk because, as we've already noticed here, Odrin does have dreadnoughts. We know that now. We've seen them. They are going to be coming out, and I am a little bit nervous about that. So things could get kind of nasty. That being said, though, I'm reasonably confident in my units here that they're going to be able to basically get the job done. And again, I do have backup coming in, which is one of the other reasons why I was okay splitting that stack up. I have Wazul here coming in with kind of some miscellaneous units, and Wazul himself is actually pretty strong. He has Blood Brothers already. So I'm going to be bringing in kind of another hodgepodge stack here to reinforce whichever of these stacks needs it. So all in all, I think I'm going to be okay, but I do agree with Brain that that was a risky move, and we'll see if it pays off, I guess. The other set of comments is from Casper Eklund once again. Casper suggested that he also kind of agreed with Brain that if I used Undead Scourge, this battle here with this Wizard Tower would probably not be all that challenging, or at least I would have a much greater likelihood of keeping all my units alive and not losing anybody. And I agree. So again, I think that's probably what I'm going to do. Casper did mention just kind of a offhand comment about maybe creating like a set of flying and floating units, as I had kind of mused about that, I think, in the last episode. Now, Casper pointed out rightly that I do have these Wraith Kings which can heal a stack and are also, let's take a quick peek, as you can see here, they're floating. So they are floating units, meaning that they will be able to kind of get full advantage, just like a flying unit, of moving across the terrain. So something I thought of here is that I could actually create, and I have another one coming out here as I just have this city, or this dwelling, continually pumping them out. I can use a couple Wraith Kings, and I could actually use my Draconian former throne of Firak, the Dreadnought, who I took out, and I could build some Draconian flyers, and I could have myself a ready-made flying stack. So I'd have some healers coming from the Wraith Kings, and I'd have some flyers to do the melee work. So I think that would be kind of cool. But anyway, I agree with Casper that a flying stack would be useful, but can often be challenging as a Necromancer because you need healing in the stack. So fortunately for me, this dwelling with these Wraith Kings kind of solves that problem. And then the other thing that Casper had mentioned is just a reminder about, since I'm going up against a Dreadnought that's going to have Juggernauts, using things like Bone Collectors and Banshees is going to be to my benefit. And actually, to that end, I'm going to be starting to produce Bone Collectors probably very quickly here in the city of Hith, especially once I've cleared out the Castle of the Lich King here and get the benefit from that. So anyway, thank you to everybody who left comments. I really do appreciate them. And with that out of the way, let's get into this episode and see what kind of damage we can do to our remaining opponents here. So, when we left off last time, we did have a few things left to do here in our turn. We're going to level up Crogar, who did get enough to level up here. So let's see. Now, we have to kind of remember where Crogar is and what he's going to be doing. So, again, Crogar is basically kind of more or less on his own. He's got a few units now that I've been able to Ghoul Curse here, as we can take a quick peek. So I did manage to get a Settler. I have a Cadaver here. I have a Draconian Flamer, and then obviously I've summoned these two Fallen Angels. So I'm not totally on my own, but we do have to remember that Crogar is kind of an island right now, in that he's by himself. So let's think about that when we're deciding what to upgrade him with here. So Necromantic Aura would be nice, except we're not really going up against the undead, so I'm not going to worry about that. I think maybe what I'll do with him is, let's see, we already have Undying. We have most of our kind of main ticket items. I suppose we could do Exploit Despair. Or Devour Corpse is always nice. You know what? Let's grab Dispel Magic just in case we need it. And then, you know what? Let's do some stat upgrades. We'll give him a little bit more health. Again, just kind of toughen him up just a little bit. And we'll give him a bit more health there. We can also increase our range strength. There we go. So Crogar is now kind of, again, he's ready to go here. I think he's going to be able to do quite a bit of damage going forward here to hunt Dwemus underground. So let's see what else we had to do. We had moved most of our big ticket units, but I think we had a lot to do underground that we hadn't really done yet. So let's do that. So we have Nabal here, and Nabal we are going to use to move in and try and grab this Naga dwelling here. Now, unfortunately, we don't have any units in either stack here that can Ghoul Curse, which is a real shame. It would be nice to get some units that way. However, we do have this Human Evangelist who is capable of using Convert, so we may be able to snag a unit if we're lucky. So let's move on in and see what kind of damage... Ooh, oh my, okay, this is actually a much stronger dwelling than I was expecting. Maybe we'll actually need this stack to help out, just because that's going to be quite the challenging battle. I think what we'll do is we'll move over. I want to get rid of these little roving guys just while we're here. So let's take them out. And I am going to do this manually because I don't want to risk anybody dying. And we've already talked about it, and you guys know how much I enjoy doing these manually, so... Alright. So we'll throw Frozen Flames on our Manticore Rider and basically just charge right in there. Very aggressive. Tons of damage there, you saw. Holy cow, that was some incredible damage output. Now, these other units are probably going to run off here. These guys here, if we try to do anything, they're going to sprint away. So let's just get the kill on these ones. And we'll let these guys do what they want to do. So they're going to go after my Blight Doctor, who I'm just going to use a self-heal on. And I think everybody else is pretty much healthy. The Manticore Rider actually could use some health. Just one, but extra experience. Why not? And then we'll get the kill there. Perfect. Okay, that's the pesky scoundrels that are dealt with. And now we will move in with this stack and actually see if maybe we can help out. So we'll go up here. And I think that's just, excuse me, that's just going to give me the insurance I'm going to need in this battle here. And to activate this battle, I'm actually going to have to walk this way to bring everybody in. There we go. So we'll do this one manually. And my objective here is obviously just to win the battle, but I'd also like to see if maybe I can get a unit out of this battle using my convert ability. Now, I seem to recall that Naga matriarchs have mind control immunity, but let's just double check. Yes, they do. So, unfortunately, unless I have Ghoul Curse, I'm not going to be able to grab the Naga matriarch, who is a phenomenal unit, especially as a Necromancer. This unit has, like, pretty decent stats. It also has Slip Away, which is you can basically heal yourself. You teleport randomly away 5 hexes, and you gain 25% or 25 health back. Excuse me. Also Charm, which is nice. Throw Curse, which is great for Necromancers. Inflict Severely Poisoned, Regrowth, and then also the kind of last little bit that's also nice is that this is a support unit, which is excellent because that means it will gain Heal Undead from my Healers of the Dead. So I really do quite enjoy getting Naga Matriarchs as a unit, but we're not going to be able to do that in this battle, so I guess I'll stop kind of going on and on about it. It would be great, though, to get a hold of one. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll throw Frozen Flames once again on our Manticore Rider, and we're going to charge our Manticore Rider in to do some heavy lifting. Now, this battle could get kind of gross, so I think we're going to let them sort of come to us. And I'm going to use my Butchers as, once again, kind of a bit of a vanguard here to kind of soak up some hits. Oh, whoops, I didn't mean to move my ball that way. That's okay, I'll just do this. And we will turn those guys around just to make sure they're facing the right way. We can't use Touched by Faith, unfortunately, on the Undead. Otherwise, I would buff one of my units with that. And I think we'll also throw our Yeti kind of in there. So we'll just group up like that. And then our other units here, we will just kind of move everybody over. Just kind of grouping up. And we'll let these units come at us. There we go. Oh, our Manticore Rider is just extremely powerful. Now that it's got that gold medal, it is just a powerhouse unit. Absolutely devastating. Okay, so now we've got the units coming at us here. So we have to remember that a lot of these units have regrowth on them. So we'll just take a quick peek here. So we've got regrowth, which means if we're going to do damage, it would be great to actually get the kills rather than just hit them and then kind of let them recover. And again, we're just moving our units kind of in to help out here. I'm using my Butchers as kind of shock troops up front because that's going to help quite a bit. Did throw a Weakened on this Naga Matriarch. It's going to help us a little bit in the battle here, I think. We can actually do some pretty good damage here. Maybe we'll do that. It would be kind of nice to be able to just kill that Matriarch off, if possible. Let's see what kind of damage we can do. We could use our Flyer, and I think we'll do that. Let's go in and get the kill. Perfect. Now, our Flyer is going to be a little bit vulnerable as it's not in defense mode, but that is okay. I think it's strong enough to tank the damage, and it's facing the right way, so it's not going to get flanked. Yeah, and with lifesteal, I think we'll be okay. Oh, I almost spoke too soon there. I was a little concerned about that, but we ended up lucking out, so I think we'll be able to save our unit from certain death here. Now, unfortunately, that unit cannot move, which means we're going to have to occupy these units. So I think we'll actually see maybe if we can get our Evangelist in here to do a conversion. Okay, resisted. Kind of expected that. It was in defense mode. Not the most optimal chance there, but always worth trying. We'll do a little bit more damage with our fairies there. Let's see what else we can do here. It would be nice to drop a heal on our flyers, so we'll do that. Make sure that they don't go down. Do a little more damage here, and then come in and get the finishing blow with our devastating Manticore Rider. Alright, and just like that, we now have a Naga dwelling. So we will just step in and take it over. Now, the question is, these do require a decent amount of investment to be at any kind of point where they are worth anything. So a part of me is tempted to just release it as a vassal and earn income from it that way. However, I am kind of tempted to develop it because we have this Lost City and the Temple of the Eternal Serpent here, which means I could produce Feathered Serpents, which are kind of a cool unit. Not particularly useful for me. They have healing, but of course that's not really going to help me as the undead. They are floating, which is nice, and they are a monster unit, but I don't think these are particularly useful for me. I'm kind of torn on this one. I think I'll absorb it. Why not? And, you know, maybe I could, but before this series is over, maybe I'll be able to actually produce something from there, but I guess we'll have to kind of wait and see. Alright, so let's group up our stack again. Now the question is, do I want to go try and raid this Lost City? I could throw this Manticore Rider back in with this stack, maybe replace one of these, maybe replace the Yeti, and then see if I could do it. You know, and that might not be the worst thing ever, actually. I think I am going to do that. So we will replace the Yeti, I think. And we'll take our Manticore Rider. Of course, we can't just yet, so maybe next turn. So we'll tell them to hang out. And unfortunately, these units don't have enough movement to get here this turn, so we'll have to clear out this Castle of the Lich King next turn, I think. Now, okay, we did have some action going on here. We were able to acquire this Ghoul Vampire Spider Baby. We have this Draconian Flyer here. Oh, and look at this. We have a unit that has come apparently from the north and is kind of pestering us a little bit. I had left this flyer out of the stack because I moved in the Draconian Deathbringer there to help out with potentially ghoul cursing some units. So why don't we don't have enough movement to get back over there, but we could at the very least move ourselves out here, and we'll bring that as well. I don't want to leave this Deathbringer high and dry, so I'll do that. So I think we'll just hang out and wait kind of to regroup that stack. Now, I was going to bring this Draconian Elder here that you see down into this stack with these 2 Wraith Kings, another Elder, and a Cadaver. This is like super support squad here, as almost all the units are supports. And then we will move in and we can go clear that dungeon maybe next turn. Yeah, I think that's going to be the game plan on that one. And these 2 guys, I think I was eventually going to kind of build up my own little secondary stack here with this. I had sent a unit up north this way, yes, and I had found a city up there. And I was going to build myself maybe like a little second stack with some of these units. And I think I will be doing that here, so I'm going to move these guys in. And they can group up with this Orc Shock Trooper. That will be quite nice. And I think maybe I'll even send in this Monster Hunter as well. And I'll just leave the Berserker here as just a backup guard. I may not even need him, to be perfectly honest, but I think I will leave him there. I don't think I actually cleared anything out in the underground, but let's go see. No, I didn't. There is a city down there, actually. Might be kind of nice to get that city in my control as well. So it could be worth sending a stack down there. But anyway, I have to decide kind of how I want to do that with these units here. I'm just going to take a quick drink here. Okay. And yeah, so I do have Scourge of Undead researched, so I will be able to use that going forward, which is excellent. Of course, it's a 50 casting point spell, but if I don't have a leader present, if Crogar isn't there to cast it in a battle, it'll cost me 100, which will be most of my casting points, which is kind of annoying. I guess we'll do our research now. Let's see what we could work on. I think I'll just maybe grab myself some more casting points at this point. I think that would probably be the most useful for me, quite frankly. So, yeah, most of these units we've already kind of done our movement. So, let's go and do our production. We don't have a ton of gold at the moment, so I think we are mostly just going to be doing merchandise kind of across the board here. Might be the odd city that we want to kind of develop. And this does harken back to a comment from My Brain Hurts, I think on the previous episode. He had indicated that there's kind of a strategy he sometimes uses when he's building up his cities, where he basically will just focus on getting kind of one city at a time up to the point of having a Palace of the Perished, at least for me as a Necromancer, or for, if you're a non-Necromancer, just having the Imperial Palace, and that way he gets extra casting points and also kind of maxes out each city. That's an interesting approach, and that's actually something I think would be quite useful in certain scenarios. I think in this instance here, that might be kind of something I could do as well. I've got a few cities that are pretty far along and basically capable of having a Palace of the Perished, or very close to being able to produce one. And that would be really nice because I am starting to have kind of a casting point bottleneck, as you can see. Like for the city of Hif, we already do have one there, which is excellent. I think maybe in Hif I will build a Necromancer's Dark Tower now. And I want to do that because I want to get the ability eventually to produce Bone Collectors and Deathbringers and whatever else I want to make in that city. So we're going to work on that. Areen Dar here. Again, we will just do merchandise for now. Any city that didn't have a Harvester's Guild, I did want to at least build that to start it growing just a little bit. Now, I notice here we can produce Slaughter Pits. That would be kind of nice. That way, if we produce any infantry, they have killing momentum and +2 melee damage. But we don't really have this city built for that, so at the moment, I don't think I'm going to do that, as I don't even have a barracks yet. So, yeah, I think we'll hold off on that. That was not really kind of what I intended my throne city to really be at any point just yet. So, oh right, and we had a little bit more scouting we could do in the Shadow Realm, so let's do that here. So we'll take our Nightmare, which this is a unit that would actually be great to get back in an army rather than just have it kind of out-wasted scouting around. And we did have a Boar here who makes a great scout and is by no means being wasted out here, as he's kind of just a pitiful little tier 1 unit. Alright, and we have this stack. Now, this is my kind of hodgepodge stack here. And we do have this Charger who I'm going to add into the stack. I think I might get rid of this little Shadow Demon larva. As much as I do like them, I can replace them with this Charger. I think that's going to be the plan. Let's just see. So we have one ranged unit, or units with ranged attacks. We have 2 units here that have ranged attacks. And this one also does with Poison Spit. So that is one thing we are kind of losing if we ditch the Shadow Demon larva. But I think it would be much better having our stronger unit there. So I think what we'll do is we'll just move everybody forward here like this. And then we'll take this stack up and start doing some damage maybe up here. We can clear out this Ancient Ruin at the very least. And with this little guy, I think we'll basically just head back down and kind of group up with our other Shadow Demon larva. There we go. Oh, right, and we had this kind of fun stuff happening underground here. So why don't we go clear out the Ancient Ruins here. We've got some potential for some additional healers, which we can try and grab. So let's do this battle. Alright, so we've got also an apprentice there as well. Monster Hunter and a Berserker are the main kind of fighting force here, so we'll have to just kind of eliminate them. Let's see who needs a heal the most. I think our Manticore Rider is going to be kind of getting in there pretty aggressive, so I think we'll drop the health there. So we're going to go in and do some big damage to get the devastating kill there. Then we can do this. Big damage as well. We can actually Shadow Step our way in and go for a Ghoul Curse. Not a very high chance, but that unit was going to die anyway if we didn't attack, so there we go. And we're just kind of sending everybody else in. Put our Phalanx in defense mode there. Let's see what happens here. So he's going to sprint away. Fortunately, my units are undead, which means they are immune to the ability here to charm. So that's quite nice. We've got a 50% chance. Ooh, we got a 60% chance on these Orc Bards. So let's try for that. Oh, and they still were able to resist. And I don't think... Yeah, these units have Dispel Magic, which we could use to try and... You can actually use Dispel Magic to clear out Immune to Ghoul Curse, but we're not close enough, so that's not really going to be of any help to us, unfortunately. And I think our Manticore Rider would benefit the most from getting more experience, so we'll do that. And then really all that's left now is this Bard. So we can move in behind here and just get the kill. There we go. So unfortunately we didn't gain any units, but we cleared it out, and let's see what kind of rewards we get. Kind of useless boots. Some gold here and some research. Or knowledge, I should say. I'm tempted to just sell this, but I am going to, I think... Yeah, you know what? I'm just going to sell this, because that extra research isn't going to help get this done a turn sooner, I don't think. So I think I'll just sell this, because this is still requiring a full turn, so 52 isn't really enough to make a big difference. But that extra gold is quite nice, so we'll do that. I would almost never do that, except I also don't have a hero there to easily sell off those boots. I'd have to send them to somebody. A little bit more of a hassle, so I think just for ease, kind of purpose of just ease, we'll take the gold. And those boots were nothing special, so we're not really missing out on anything there. Okay, we've got some filthy scoundrels to take out. Always kind of a pain, just because they're sort of annoying units to have to deal with. Especially because they can sprint away from you, but we will just systematically eliminate them to the best of our ability here. And we obviously have some devastatingly powerful units to do just that. We'll take out that scoundrel there. We can actually jump in behind here and attack those goblin scoundrels, and they're actually going to be ghoul cursed for our team now. We could actually use them. They'd make a great scout unit. We can send them in as a scouting force if need be. Alright, that does it for our turn. There's really not a whole lot these guys can do, but they are going to sprint away, I'm assuming. Yep, there they go. It's kind of all over but the crying at this point for these guys, but... Yeah, so let's see. Who needs the... our Manticore Rider still needs some experience, so I think we will get the kills with them, just for the extra experience. There we go. Alright, that is cleared out. Ice Scraper and a not very good helmet. Once again, we will just sell that off. So this stack is shaping up quite nicely. Would be also kind of advantageous, I think, to have another healer in there, but again, we will see. And you know what? Maybe I'll build myself a little... Rather than putting a guard here, I'll just kind of... Because this city is really in a position where there's nothing that can really come up on it. It's kind of in this little pocket here you can see with surrounded by walls. So as long as I move my units out and make sure I've cleared everything, I should be fine. I think I can leave that city more or less unguarded, which is kind of what I'm going to do. So this stack here, I'll maybe move these guys in with this unit. At least there they've got something. And they do have a healer here at least to kind of support the stack. So as I ghoul curse maybe additional units, I can put them in that stack as well. So here we've got some Spirit Elemental, a Nymph, and 2 Buttercup Fairies. I think we might be able to do this battle without too much difficulty. Of course, they do have Mass Bless, which is going to make it actually quite a bit more difficult. So I think because of that Bless, maybe I won't risk it. Again, I don't have a ton to gain from clearing these out at this exact moment, so I don't think I'm going to risk it. I think instead what I'll do is I'll actually send this unit down this way. And actually, now that I think about it, I think I've built... Oh, I have the capacity to build a Magic Academy there, but let's take our butchers and send them north to go help out. Might take them a little while to get there, but actually we'll send both of our butchers up that way. So we want them to come join the stack up here. There we go. We do have this unit now underground as well. Decently powerful little stack here. And we've cleared out all the structures kind of around our city, so we could head over and grab this item stack potentially. Let's see what kind of units we got. That's not too bad. I think we can win this battle, hopefully without too much difficulty. So we've got some Forge Priests, so we got to watch out for the fire damage. We've got a couple of Axemen as well, it appears. So as long as we play this one smart, we should be just fine. And obviously we got to make sure we don't lose our Blight Doctor, as that is this stack's only healer. After my blunder a few episodes back where I lost that Wraith that I had in this stack. And obviously our Phantasm Warrior is actually going to be a little bit vulnerable to the fire attacks of the Forge Priest, so I got to watch out. Our Serpent is probably going to take the brunt of the damage here, yeah. And with that conjunction in the House of Yaka, you can see how much that fire damage is amplified, so... Yeah, kind of got beat up pretty good there, so we just got to make sure we don't lose the Serpent, because obviously the Serpent is our best unit in this stack by far. So I think we will tie up the Axemen here. Actually, we can get the kill, I think. Yep. We will tie up these Axemen with our Phantasm Warrior there. And that's now going to allow us to basically bring in our Blight Doctor, drop a heal here, and then I think we can pretty much kill off one of these two Forge Priests. And I think we'll go here just so we're a little more optimized in terms of facing them. They're a little harder to flank us. So now let's see what happens. Okay, they're just going to drop heals on themselves. No worries there. That's making my life a little bit easier, actually. Alright, so we'll move in like this. We'll do some damage here. And then we'll come in and hopefully get the kill. Very close, not quite. And do that and get the kill there. Move our Phantasm Warriors in and get the flank kill like that. And then finally move our Shock Serpent in and just obliterate the last remaining unit, those Axemen. And let's see what kind of item we get. Oh, that's a little bit underwhelming. A kind of weak melee weapon and some boots that aren't particularly useful. We can just sell that for some additional gold. So now let's move over to this inn. We'll take a look at what's here. So we've got a Tigran Shredder and a Tier 1 Tigran Predator melee unit, a Sun Guard, a Mystic, and a Bond Huntress. I think we should be able to handle this battle. Let's give it a try. Again, we have to watch out. We don't want to lose our Serpent, but I think we'll be alright. I'm going to kind of try to leverage the lifesteal of the Butcher to full effect here and let them kind of go in and be the main kind of vanguard unit. I am going to drop a heal on my Shock Serpent because obviously do not want to risk the Shock Serpent at all. We're going to use this Butcher kind of right up here in defense mode, I think. And we will actually move our Phantasm Warriors and do some work there. And we'll move our Shock Serpent like this, kind of in reserve a little bit. Let's kind of see what happens here. So, oof. Butcher's getting kind of lit up a little bit. I think they'll be alright. There we go, doing work. That's exactly what we like to see. Serpent just getting the kill, no problem at all. And now we got to bring in our Blight Doctor to maybe help out a little bit because things got kind of nasty over here, as you can see. So we'll kill them off. And we're just going to hope that our Butcher is okay to deal with this Bond Huntress 1v1 here. Thanks to that lifesteal and the advantage of having a polearm against cavalry, we were just fine. So we're really making some pretty solid progress underground. We're spreading out, we're taking cities, getting work done, which is always a good thing. Obviously, though, at this point, our main focus is going to be the war effort kind of up top. But that doesn't mean we should neglect everything else. Just because we are fighting a war on two fronts, that doesn't mean we shouldn't also be focusing on continuing to develop our empire, especially kind of away from the main front of battle. So we're going to end our turn there, and let's kind of see what happens. So Dwemus is still fighting. He's still in this game. He's not giving up. And once again, I'm going to assume that he's moving his throne to that city underground, and that's probably where I will find him once I kind of get my stack over there. I think I'm going to use Crogar maybe to even raid this here and try and grab some healers, some Frostling Ice Queens. At that point, I may also turn both of my Fallen Angels here into ghouls so that they are undead and can benefit kind of from all the fun little extras that being undead gets you as a Necromancer. Chief among those being that if you have healers, you can actually heal your stacks very, very well. In many cases, better than with living units. Although, I would say that Theocrats definitely do rival Necromancers in their healing abilities. Although I still am, I'm always going to be partial to Necromancers, that's for sure. Oh, okay, and you know what? Again, this is now maybe going to bite me a little bit. I left this stack alone, and there's a chance I might lose them now. And losing that Deathbringer would be absolutely devastating. So I will cast spells if I need to in this battle, because I do not want to lose this Deathbringer. Again, that was me being a little bit cocky, thinking, oh, I'll just move my units around. It's a good thing I did bring that flyer in to help. I think I'm going to kind of let them just come over to me here. And, alright, so I got to kind of make a plan of attack here. I'm willing to sacrifice the flyer and the baby spider. No second thought about that at all. But I absolutely do not want to lose the Deathbringer. That is the most important unit that I have in this stack for sure, but on this island besides maybe my hero. So I need the Deathbringer to stay alive. So we will protect the Deathbringer. So if we are going to cast spells, let's think about what we would want to cast. Something that would help. I wonder, no, so something like Banish might be useful here. Again, not a great chance of it working, but does a decent amount of damage and has a chance to outright kill these units because they are all magical origin, as you can see here. Let's see what else we've got. So we could also try Disintegrate. Actually has a better chance of killing than... It has a better chance of killing than Banish, and it costs the same to cast, so I think that would be a choice. Now we do have Scourge of the Undead, but I don't want to waste that here. Frankly, I don't think it's necessary. I think we can probably manage to eke out this battle without that, but I guess we'll have to see. This is going to be quite challenging, unfortunately, for us here. So we can kind of back ourselves into a bit of a corner, which is kind of beneficial to us, actually. So I think what we'll do is we'll kind of park our units back like this. We're going to let them sort of come to us here. So yeah, I was fully expecting a weaken on our strongest unit, which is our Deathbringer. Alright, so at least... Oh, and a stun. That's really unfortunate. I think what we're going to do here is we are going to use a spell. We're going to use a Disintegrate. We have a 60% chance on either the Spirit or the Blight Elemental. Now, we are kind of resistant to the Blight Elemental, so I think I'm going to try it on the Spirit Elemental. Although we do have that weaken now, which we have to think about. Let's try it. Oh, that's a real shame. That just made our life a little bit more difficult, unfortunately. So we'll try for a web, and unfortunately we did not get that either. So I think we'll cast another spell next turn. Oh, boy, this battle is just a disaster at this point. I'm more than likely going to be losing these Deathbringers now. Yeah, maybe I should have used Scourge of the Undead, actually. That might have been a smarter move. So we've got another... Let's try it again. Okay, at least we got them out of the way. Although, unfortunately, this air elemental is going to give us some serious problems. So we will put our units in defense mode and let them kind of duke it out here a little bit. Thank goodness we have that lifesteal. That's really helping us out, as you saw. And I think we're just going to continue to do defense. Oh, and we got a web. That's fantastic. But yeah, you know, don't let yourself get complacent, right? I did, and look what happened. You know, you get sloppy and bad things happen. So, all right. Let's see what happens here. Okay, so yeah, I figured they would kill off the spider. So we can kill off the air elemental. Perfect. Now it's a 1v1. Oh, and they threw that weakened on again, which is not great for us. I think we'll throw ourselves in defense mode, and let's see what happens here. It's really, really unfortunate that I ended up having to use my... Okay, so that's... We're just going to keep ourselves in defense mode and let him hit us. Yeah, that didn't go so well for him. So again, I think we will... Now, does that come back? It does have weakened again. I think we'll just get the kill then. Perfect. Yeah, boy, that was sloppy on my part. And not only that, but it costed a lot of... It forced me to use up a bunch of my casting points. So definitely try to avoid making mistakes like that if you can, because they are expensive. All right. Oh, and look at this. So Dwemus decided to surrender. Just when I said that he was... I actually didn't notice this. So just when I was saying, oh, Dwemus is going to fight me, he actually decided to surrender. I guess because I have such powerful stacks and I'm just sweeping through his cities, he has no real hope left. So I will accept your surrender, good sir. There we go. And we are now better at governing elves, interestingly enough. And I think I will take shooting grounds. Shooting grounds in high elf cities provide extra growth. Shooting grounds give high elf longbowmen and high elf hunters +1 range damage. I'll take the range damage, although frankly it doesn't really matter. Race governance for dwarves has gone up. Stone walls in dwarven cities now generate 10 extra production. I will take that upgrade. And we did have a bunch of items arrive, but let's also take a peek at Dwemus, who is... So yeah, Dwemus was hiding underground. Let's just go back here. So Dwemus, here, he was under here. So this is probably where he was holding out. And he just didn't want to keep fighting. Knew it was over, and I was able to eliminate him. So, you know, well fought, Dwemus, but we were able to take him down. So we're going to cast our spell here. Devout Slayer and Support Slayer. Unfortunately, this spell was actually kind of meant more for me dealing with Dwemus, but this is still going to be helpful, just kind of overall to have. And it gives them something else to disjunct. So if they disjunct that, my two remaining opponents, I'm not as upset because that's a little bit less important of a spell for me at this point. I prefer having Power Ritual and Entwined by Shadows running as opposed to Enemy of the Faith, for example. So I think at this point now, I'm just kind of sifting through my spells here. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to summon another Fallen Angel because, again, they are extremely powerful. And let's kind of go through now all the stuff that's happened here. So we had a bunch of items arrive. Lots of different things. We had some boots show up here, which we already have equipped on Wazul. Oh, here we go. We got a lance. Piercing Lance of War, which we now have with Cirrus, which is excellent. And Casper Eklund had actually mentioned that lance... Let's just go back to it quick. Casper had mentioned that this lance, for example, giving... armor piercing is going to be beneficial against a dreadnought because a lot of the dreadnought units are armored. So this lance is going to be excellent for Cirrus here in the upcoming fight against Odrin, as Cirrus is gradually kind of working his way up to join that conflict as well. So nice little extra tidbit there from Casper on that one. We now have another healing item here. So we have the Basket of Healing for Bahir, who now has just another way to heal his units besides heal undead, which is great for him. And this Dread Spider egg is actually going to hatch next turn, which is awesome. We can't equip it until it hatches, but that's something that we got to remember to equip on Bahir once it does hatch. We had another item here. We had some boots show up for Crogar. Now let's see if these are better. We do have Bringer of Goodwill, which is pretty good for our economy because obviously these are all pretty, at least a few of these units are quite expensive. We can look at the upkeep here. This would be double if we didn't have those boots on. Let's see what we got for boots here. Forestry, Wetland Walking, and +1 defense. That's not really enough to cancel out the benefit I'm getting from the economic boost of Bringer of Goodwill. So I think we'll keep Bringer of Goodwill instead as our boots rather than switching over. So we've got a lot of decisions to make here, but I think we're going to start off with the active conflict zone, which is up north here. So we have our stack here. We can move them in and kind of see what we have going on in the domain of this city. So I think we'll grab these haste berries. Let's see what we're dealing. Oh, and look at this. We've got juggernauts galore. That was exactly what I'm afraid of. So I do not like all these juggernauts being there. That is pretty scary stuff. They are very difficult to deal with. And I am going to have to start basically bringing in the reinforcements here, I think. So we'll send Wazul over. I'm actually even going to send this Elder in with Wazul. Going to need some extra fire damage, that's for sure. So we've got to kind of have all hands on deck, I think. So we'll embark this unit just before I forget, and then we can move them down there to deal with that. So yeah, we really can't let Odrin and Oscar get any more time to build up, as they're just going to start producing these tier 4 Juggernaut Doom stacks that are going to be coming right at me. You can see these are already getting pretty leveled up. We've got a silver metal one right here. So those are going to be a real pain in the butt to deal with. And this stack isn't exactly optimized for doing just that. So I think we'll actually move them back one just to have a little extra deterrent from another unit. And we could even send this unit up to join, although can't quite get there. So that is pretty scary. Let's take Bahir down here and see what we can see. Oh, kind of the same story. We've only got 2 of them here. I think we'll be able to deal with that with our dragons. So we will, because they can just fly right over the wall. Not to mention Bahir and his backup there to be able to revive these units. So I'm going to press this city for sure. I didn't actually look and see, is this the throne? And it is. This is his throne. Okay. It's a shame I didn't send Bahir up north and this stack down south, but that's okay. We'll send Wazul here in the next few turns. We're going to send Wazul up to reinforce, and then we can really try and siege the throne city. And in the meantime, we'll take out this city and then loop Bahir back up and around. So that's good. We now know where Odrin's throne city is, and we can start systematically trying to destroy him as well before he's able to get all of his Juggernaut Doom stacks kind of into full effect on me here. I think I'm really going to start essentially just not ignoring everything else, but I'm really going to prioritize fighting Odrin and Oscar, because obviously the more I let them build up, the harder this is going to be for me, and the greater the chance that, despite me having a pretty solid grip on this game at the moment, I think that will increase the odds of me potentially not having a good time as this game continues. So I am going to really try and press my advantage as best I can. In the meantime, though, I'm going to take this little orc city if I can here. So let's see what we've got. So we've got our razor bows, and then we've got 3 melee units to deal with, all tier 1, so nothing too spooky. But we don't want to get, again, you know, you've already gotten sloppy once this episode, so let's just keep it clean. Let's not make any mistakes if we can avoid it. Send in our flyer here and get the kill there. Perfect. So now we only have melee units left to deal with, which is good. Alright. I think we also, now that I'm kind of thinking about it, we need to start prioritizing production as well in a few cities to get some of my own stacks going, where I'm not necessarily just relying on Ghoul Curse and Greater Reanimate Undead. I think it would be good to also have, like for example in HIF, I want to get that going ASAP if I can, to try to improve my chances of, you know, being able to just kind of win this game without having to worry all that much. I think if I have, you know, some bone collectors and Deathbringers and whatnot coming out of those cities, I think that will be a great kind of backup in case my Vanguard forces get overwhelmed by these Juggernauts or kind of end up in a bit of a stalemate with them. I'm going to want some reinforcements coming in, so that is something as well I can think about doing. Although, again, it's going to take time to build those up, so unfortunately I'm going to kind of have to roll with what I have at the moment. We're going to migrate this city over to Ghoul Draconians, just for ease and speed at that point. And yeah, so this stack is kind of done moving, so we'll just move back there. Okay. Let's see if anything else interesting happens. So we did get a level up with Cirrus, which is good. And now Cirrus does have, if I'm not mistaken, yes, Cirrus has Scourge of Undead. So Cirrus is an extremely powerful hero at this point. He has exceptional armor with all these resistances and defense. Just very, very powerful. This shield is fantastic. His melee weapon is great. Extra health. Just awesome. Absolutely awesome. The only thing missing right now is a mount for Cirrus. So, and look at this. We could maybe grab another Bone Dragon. So let's actually do that while we're on the subject here. I think this will be quite good for us. And actually, we're missing a unit in this stack, so that would be quite nice. I was going to add in this Evangelist, who, you know what, let's do that. And I was sending this Wraith King down to maybe join up here, but I may end up actually sending that Wraith King somewhere else. So now let's initiate this battle. Not that I even necessarily needed that help, but might as well get him involved. Our new Evangelist here. Alright, so now the only thing we have to watch out for is we don't want to kill the Lost Soul prior to killing the dragon. So that's the only thing we got to make sure that we can kill the dragon off without killing the Lost Soul. Because if we kill the Lost Soul first, that will mean... Sorry, I'm just thinking there. If we kill the Lost Soul first, that will mean that when we kill the dragon, the battle will end, and we don't want that to happen. So, to avoid that, we have to... I think we're going to use Fire Musket, so we're gonna run in here like this. And we're going to use a nice blast here. Unfortunately, not quite able to get the kill. And it's a shame this Evangelist doesn't actually have a ranged attack, which would have been quite useful. Not all the Evangelists of the different races have ranged attacks, only some of them do. The ones that have the ranged attacks I think I prefer, so like Draconians and I think humans, their Evangelists do. There we go, alright, now we don't have to worry. Killed the dragon, revived the dragon, healed the dragon as well, and healed our Titan, and we will turn the undead just for some experience with our Evangelists there. And yeah, everybody's pretty powerful. We'll just get the kill. Perfect. So just like that, another tier 4 Bone Dragon in our squad here. Or we could form another little mini stack. Actually, maybe this is what we do. We create a flying stack with Bone Dragon and Wraith King. We could even... None of these units are flying, but there you go. Look at that. Now we've got ourselves a little mini flying unit. We could add another unit in. Maybe we could grab a flyer or something. Actually, while I'm on that thought process here, let us work on some flyers. Why not? We'll actually tell this unit to not camp because we want to remember that once that flyer is produced, we need to move that flyer over. Alright, so this stack here, we're grouping them up. I was going to send them in this way, but I think it would actually be more beneficial, and of course I walked the one unit over. It'd be more beneficial to head back this way, I think, now that I'm thinking about that. And again, we want to head underground. There's some cities under there we could maybe take. And yeah, so up here, we've moved everybody kind of as much as we were daring to last turn, but... Or, sorry, this turn, I should say. I think, yeah, we're just going to have to kind of wait. We do have this Deathbringer here who we could send. You know what? I think we're going to send the Deathbringer up this way. It may end up getting attacked if we go this way, but I'm going to risk it. I want to get this unit in the fight here, in with this stack maybe to help out. Because we're going to need all the help we can get in this siege. And you know what? What the heck? Let's even send this unit up. We just want to get all hands on deck for this battle. Try and take the Throne City if possible. Alright, so let's deal with Crogar now. So Crogar's down here. Now we don't have to worry about Dwemus. We know that there's some cities of Dwemus's underground. Actually, we could go raid this Lost City. That might be... Of course, we are pretty beat up, so... Let's actually go and do this instead. And then maybe next turn we can raid that. So we'll attack like this. We could also grab this well here. Grab healing from that. Okay. So our Raptor is quite beat up. And let's see, we got to drop some heals here. So let's start healing up our big boy units first. There we go. So we'll fly in our dragon. And I will actually go for a curse maybe. No such luck. And then we'll heal our reanimator who's pretty beat up. There we go. Our Raptor is hurting, but less important to go for the heal on the Raptor, I think. In fact, it might almost be better if we just let the Raptor die and then revive him with half health. That would almost be a kind of sneaky way of getting a heal in. So maybe we'll actually do that. Kind of like that plan. Alright, so let's move in and just start beating on these units if possible. So we'll try and get some despair going. There we go. So we've got a 42% chance to Ghoul Curse while this unit is in defense mode. That's actually pretty good when you think about it. Do a breath attack there. And I think we're just going to kind of let them come on in. But before we do that, let us also try to inflict some... There we go, got a despair, which is good. Again, all of that's making it easier to get the Ghoul Curse going. A little Ice Nova there. Fortunately, as the undead, we are pretty resistant. So we're actually, again, so that unit's now dead, which is kind of a good thing, because we can just do this. And now look at that, we actually end up having more health than we did before. So now let's go for that Ghoul Curse. We got a 70% chance. Ooh, and we got it. Perfect. That is absolutely fantastic. Get the kill there. Get the kill there, no problem. And all that's left is these little guys. I think everybody that can heal is already gone. Yep. Perfect. So that battle went very well. We got some extra healing in. Acquired a new healing unit. And we did get some items here. Let's see. These are all movement upgrades. Not really that useful, to be perfectly honest. Unless they affect the whole stack, I'm really not that excited about them. So I think I'm going to sell this for the gold. I suppose I could have given it to one of my heroes who doesn't have jewelry, but I think the gold is probably just a little bit easier in that decision. So let's do the well here of souls. I can just clear this one out. Again, another opportunity here for me to heal up more of my units. And I suppose I could also try and grab this carrion bird, but... Or one of these... Actually, one of these Grimbeak crows might be a decent scout to have. Not that I'm necessarily in a huge need of a scout, but because it can fly, that's actually maybe not the worst plan. You know what? Let's go for a curse here. Nope. And then try for a... immune to Ghoul Curse there, I think. Yeah, we'll kill off some more of the crows, or try to anyway. There we go. We can kill off this crow. Perfect. Okay, so now we can do some healing. Heal up our raptor. Kill off those crows. Actually, we can heal up Crogar, who's kind of beat up. There we go. And we can make a new friend. And now all that's left is these crows up here. And they are dead. Perfect. So we can use that carrion crow as a bit of a scout if necessary. being able to fly is kind of nice. It is a tier 2 unit, which is a little bit expensive for a scout, but that's all right. We can kind of afford it here. We've got pretty decent income at this point, thanks to having sold some of that stuff, so not too concerned about that. We also have this dwarf settler who I do need to kind of think about maybe... Oh, and I noticed there's some bandits here, so we don't want to leave the city completely unguarded. So maybe we'll move... And here's Dwemus, so we actually did get Dwemus himself, which is awesome. You can see here, Dwemus actually has some decent stuff here. He's got... Well, this helmet's not particularly good, but he does have a decent chest piece. He's got a nice mount with extra fire protection. Strong will here, that's good. A little extra melee damage. Ability to seduce, that's always kind of useful. So, yeah, I'll take Dwemus. Theocrat. I can't get any more heroes kind of without having them surrender to me because I'm at my limit. I think I had this limit set to 4 heroes per leader. So this is a nice welcome, getting another hero that way. We'll take Aura of Resistance. That's going to be helpful for us. Take Sacred Arms. So we already have Strong Will, thanks to that item. And that doesn't affect our whole stack, so not as useful. Bestow Iron Heart, unfortunately, doesn't heal undead, but the +1 defense and +1 resistance does work on undead. So this could still be useful. Alternatively, we could also just go for more casting points, too. Smite and Divine Protection. Got to think about this a little bit. We also, at level 7, are going to get a new ability, so it might be nice to save up for that. Again, Chaplain doesn't affect undead, so not going to spend on that. Healing Aura doesn't affect undead, not going to do that. Any of these spells here. Instant Wrath is kind of nice. Put it on a unit, and the unit attacking will take 50% of the damage that they deal back to that unit. Yeah, I think I'll save the points. Maybe I'll grab Divine Channeling and save the rest. Yeah, I think I'll do that. For level 7. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty good progress down here. I'm actually quite happy with this. Now, I do have to decide, I was going to say with that settler, where do I want to send that settler off to? And we've already kind of got our city set up here on this island. I was thinking about maybe having a city over here. Oh, and I almost forgot I have this bone dragon as well. And I can add this bone dragon to this stack as well. Now, this is going to be fun. I'm going to have a flying stack here. Of course, I shouldn't have left this unit by itself, but that's okay. I think I'll be fine. That's going to be really nice. And here we go. We've got another Wraith King who I'm going to send down to join this stack as well. Actually, I'm going to send over this way. Be a little more protected in the mountains here. So I'll group up. Oh, that's going to be cool. Having this kind of flying stack here with 2 Bone Dragons and 2 Wraith Kings. That's going to be a fun unit to have. Very mobile. I'll be able to send them in to basically just kind of be quick attack shock troops. That'll be really fun. Let's just see here if there was anything else while we were down here. So, right, I did want to also build up a bit of a stack. And this is actually really nice because now I can use Dwemus, who is, thanks to being my hero, is now an Arc Lich. Let's just make sure. Yeah, he's got Lich Aura. That means he's going to turn all these units into ghouls, which is exactly what I want. So we'll just group everybody up here. Build them a little stacky of guys. I was going to say a stacky stack there. Now I have to decide how best to mobilize this dwarven settler. I suppose the other option is I could send him underground, but I haven't cleared anything down there and there's still cities to go and take over. I also need to kind of babysit him because clearly there's roving units, as we can see down here. So I just have to decide what would be the best course of action for this unit here. In terms of this stack, I'm going to need a healer, which is exactly why I have this Frostling Ice Queen, so that's excellent. I think for now, though, I'm going to just leave the settler in the city, just till I kind of got to think about where to send that settler. As for the stack, it would be nice to maybe go clear out anything else down here. But quite frankly, I just want to mobilize everybody for the war. I want to get everybody in on this. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to end the episode here. We did take out Dwemus, which is a big boost for us. We also now know where Odrin's throne city is, the city here of El Rafan. So we made really good progress. We made excellent progress in this episode, I would say. But I'm going to have to think kind of more about what to do with that settler and with our new hero stack there with Dwemus. So I'm going to end the episode here and kind of ponder that one. And again, in the comments, leave your suggestions about kind of what you think maybe would be the best course of action for that settler, and also maybe what I should maybe do with Dwemus' stack. We're going to save this one as episode 22. Should I use Dwemus kind of alongside Crogar and press up that way, and then maybe the two of them could go find Oscar Van Helden's stuff? That's, again, if we remember, that's our rogue opponent that we still haven't encountered at all yet. So should I do that, or should I use him to explore underground, or something else? Should I escort that settler? I'm going to think about that quite a bit. I think right now I'm leaning towards escorting Crogar, going up with him to back him up for the war effort. But again, leave the comment. Let me know what you guys think. And as always, I really do appreciate you watching. It means a lot to me. And I will see you guys in the next one.